Hello guys, welcome to our fourth deck review for our Flesh and Scrubs Christmas event. Today I have with me...
I'm Bear, they, them pronouns.
I'm Douglas, I use he, him pronouns. And we're here to go over some of their decks, some of the inner machinations of their mind, what they might have been going through with their... What deck are you building?
So, I decided that since we're going to be doing something for Clash, I wanted to do something weird that you don't see very often because, I mean, when else are you going to get a chance to do this?
Yeah.
I started out trying to make some adjudicators work. And the sad thing is that adjudicators just don't have what it takes.
They don't have the oomph behind them that some decks need to really drive them forward.
Right, and I wanted to make sure, I wanted to give them a cool deck, but I wanted to give them a deck that they had a chance with too. Like, I don't want to put a pile of bad yellows in front of someone with some pummels and say, good luck on Theron.
A Bolton might like a few yellows, though, if you're building Bolton.
Yeah, but not so much the pummels. And yeah, there's no power cards. All the light generics are very, very bad. And I didn't want to go too deep into the Draconic stuff on the Typanis end of things because, well, there's going to be a Draconic this and Draconic that coming out in a, 6 weeks now? Something like that. So
you're really right around the corner.
Yeah, so I'm not going to jump down that rabbit hole. Instead, I'm jumping down a different rabbit hole.
And what's the rabbit hole you chose to jump down this time?
We're doing Enigma New Moon.
Enigma New Moon.
Enigma New Moon.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I figured the person who I'm going to be gifting this to is going to appreciate this not just being a traditional deck. Plus, Enigma New Moon is a fun deck, and it's something different and unique. And
yeah, it's really got its own kind of vibe to it, and the art for it is all absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you can't go wrong with a card like Enigma New Moon.
Exactly. It's a win on every front except maybe the power level. But I think I might have put together something that will give it a fighting chance, at least around here.
Okay. Now, you said earlier it was a unique deck, and Enigma is already... This Enigma is so unique in herself. How could you make a unique deck more unique? I'd love to hear your kind of thoughts behind it and how you managed to build this deck for your Secret Santa person.
So, I started with lamenting the fact that there are no boots in the common or rarity that have ward on them. Right. So, we know from the word get-go, Enigma New Moon is going to be a full activation of your hero ability behind of what you would be doing in a traditional Blitz game. Instead of just giving up the boots, I went with Silent Stilettos. Okay. There's a lot of blues in this deck. I believe my blue ratio is 20 blues, 16 reds, and 4 yellows.
That's healthy.
Yeah, so with all those blues, I figure if we're throwing a big, angry Phantasm attack, we might very likely have enough resources left in our hand so that we can save ourselves from the Phantasm and then present another attack.
Okay. I like the tech there. All right. I see we've got the gears turning in our minds.
Yeah, exactly. If you end up with a zero-cost attack to throw, even if it's popped, you could then pitch a blue to the Silent Stilettos, then pitch another blue to swing for 8, 9. A lot of big damage, a lot of pain.
All right, we got some spicy tech here. I'm loving it.
Yeah. And on top of that, for defensive tech, you're going to have Spectral Shields out the wazoo. Yeah. So I'm hoping that it's going to be able to put out enough pressure and that it's going to be able to put out enough everything.
I don't think you have to worry too much about getting hit. I think you'll be able to, like you said, build up that wall of Spectral Shields, and then from there kind of attack from behind them, keep your life total healthy, and just deal some damage, and you really get into the fray of combat.
Exactly. And at this point with this deck, if you have a chi in your hand ready to go, that chi effectively becomes a 1-card 7 prevention by flipping over Heirloom of Rabbit Hide.
You know, nothing too crazy. I wouldn't have expected something like that to come from Heirloom of Rabbit Hide, but that's the kind of fun part about Clash. You get to experiment with those cards you might not play with otherwise, and it really gives you some fun opportunities to see what you can do with, you know, just commons and rares.
Yeah. And
So I'd love to see what the meat and potatoes of the deck is. What's the real nitty gritty, the cards that you added into those 40 slots?
so I went with a lot of Phantasm.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure the attacks coming through were all overrate. And we're going to be seeing in this format, I think, a lot less high density of high damage attacks.
Okay.
So I feel like even in a lot of the fights where you would normally run into a ton of poppers, a lot of the good poppers aren't there.
Right.
So we have things like Coalescence Mirage, which is a 2 for 6, that if it is destroyed, you get to put a illusionist aura directly into play. We have things like Phantasmal Haze. If it's destroyed, then you get a Spectral Shield token. We have Spears of Surreality and Spectral Prowler to make sure we have a lot of go again. And to make that even a little bit crazier, I did include 2 copies of First Tenet of Chi Wind, so that if we wanted to open up with, say, a Spectral Rider in blue or an Enigma Chimera, it would give us an opportunity to take what could be an otherwise middling turn and push it a little bit further.
That's really spicy. I love that. So if you have those weaker, blue attacks that might not come in for as much damage, you'll have enough blues to pitch and continue attacking, maybe make a 2-3 long attack long chain that you can hopefully get in some more damage with and not have to worry too much about your opponent blocking all of it.
Exactly. And with that, I did include Passing Mirage and Pierce Reality.
Awesome.
2 fun ways to help make sure we're getting the most value out of our,
Yep.
sorry, the ADHD is
It happens
hard
to all of
sometimes.
us.
To get through with the Phantasm attacks, because Passing Mirage can stop the first attack from having Phantasm. Pierce Reality gives it a +2. It's real easy with the way this deck is built to open up with an attack for 10 without Phantasm, without any way to break it. So it's going to put you in a position where you're pressuring your opponent, you're keeping them on their back foot.
Yeah, the great part is that you have these rare cards that still permeate like existing metas. I mean, some of these cards are incredibly pertinent in other Enigma decks that might be a little bit more competitive that aren't Clash or Blitz. And they're played alongside these cards that are kind of janky, and they make a really interesting combination that just elevates these janky cards, and it really shows that cards like Pierce Reality and Passing Mirage really are that good despite being just a rare.
Exactly. And I do have one more trick that, in case you do run into a Guardian or a Brute, somebody who is going to put forward a lot of damage, you can, with this deck, off of a hand of all blues, you can use one of the blues, hopefully it's a Chi, to transform any one of these items, flip them over, which is going to give you 3 Spectral Shields. Then with the 3 remaining blues, you can attack 3 times for 4 damage with Go Again, using Iris of Reality. And this way, you're going to be able to present 12 damage against decks that are used to being able to use poppers to stop you. So you'll be coming through and pressuring them, hopefully to a point where you can continue this pressure turn after turn and stop them from being able to mount an effective defense.
The best part is that's like a worst case scenario for you. You draw a handful of blues and you can still present all that damage. I mean, even if you draw a handful of red, you have so many low-cost cards that there's still a way for you to deal damage.
Exactly.
The versatility of that is just so important, especially in a deck that might normally fizzle a little bit if they don't get the resources. So being able to really be sure that even the resource management in the deck is up to par really will help people in this kind of Christmas battle really hold their own against maybe a more competitive deck.
Yeah, exactly. And the only cards in this deck, I was very careful. Anything that does not create a ward blocks for 3, or is a transcend card. So there's a whole lot of high defense options in this deck. The point is that you are going to have to put yourself in a position where you could take some damage to really set up your killer turns. So we want to preserve life as best we can, and then when it comes down to it, we really unload.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. Your deck looks so amazing. I really cannot wait to see it played at the Christmas Bash.
We have one more secret for
We
this
have
deck.
one more secret.
We haven't
Do
taken a look at
tell.
the sideboard yet.
The sideboard. Awesome.
We ready?
Let's get down to it.
Here it comes. Count your blessings.
Count your blessings. Really? That's what you decided to add in the inventory slot? Count your blessings and a Null Rune Hood?
Yeah, Null Rune Hood is going to help you with the nonsense that you run into with Rune Blades, because Rune Blades are going to have... They're going to be able to chew through shields much faster than you want them to be able to, and the Null Rune helps you with that.
Okay.
Against Wizards, I am wagering that the Count Your Blessings will cover all of that for this particular deck. Wizards aren't going to be able to pop any of your attacks. So the life gain will put you head and shoulders above what they can hopefully do through their entire deck, while you're still throwing haymakers turn after turn.
Okay. I hate Count Your Blessing decks, not more than I hate Wizard decks, though. So the justification is totally fine. I respect your decision for it. I'm not as angry as I was 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But you're on thin ice, so let's be careful.
It's okay, it's okay.
I mean, wow, this deck looks awesome. I'm sure the person who gets it is really going to love it. Bear, thank you so much for taking us through your Christmas deck.
Oh, thank you for walking me through this.
Yeah, I hope I get to play against it. I don't know what deck I'll be playing as, but hopefully it has what it takes to go up against a Goliath like this one.
I think this deck is going to definitely put you on your back foot.
Well, we'll have to see about that, but we'll probably be updating people after the Christmas Bash to see how the decks went, won't we?
100%, and we are also going to be streaming games during the Christmas Bash.
Perfect. So everyone here will be able to see us and our decks, and hopefully get a few fun featured matches to maybe see the more powerful decks, or what decks are really holding their own against some of the bigger heroes out there.
100%. This is going to be a bigger event with, I think we have 20 people signed up so far.
Wow, nice.
So we are going to very much be in a position where we're not going to be able to stream every game from every player, but we will do what we can.
Yeah, totally. Well, Bear, thank you so much for sharing your deck with us. We very much appreciate it.
Thanks again.
And we hope everyone catches our other videos to see our other interviews and what other decks we have flying out there and what decks are to come. But thanks, everyone, for coming and looking at this interview. And stay posted. We'll be back at you with more videos.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.